Doom. The Dark Ages will be dark and sinister, thanks to medieval fantasy setting. Developer Direct, ID Software and Xbox showed off more gameplay and shared more details about the upcoming medieval-themed, hell-based prequel, Doom, The Dark Ages. Following the smashing success of 2020's Doom Eternal, ID Software has been producing a bold, new medieval entry to the franchise in the form of Doom, The Dark Ages. Initially teased last June, The Dark Ages features unfriendly, gothic places wrecked by a war between forces of good and evil. Like all the other games in the franchise, the player takes the role of the Doom Slayer, a former space marine armed to the teeth with godlike weaponry meant to destroy, brutalize, and devastate. Several iconic weapons seem to be returning with all new looks, such as the double-barreled super shotgun and the sci-fi plasma rifle. The newest Doom, announced last year, is a prequel to all the other games in the franchise, including 2016's Doom semi-reboot and 2020's Doom Eternal, and its DLC. Now, we get to see the Doom Slayer during the wars and hell that happened eons ago in the franchise's timeline. Doom, The Dark Ages will have some unique, new weapons that are seemingly inspired by classical torture devices. Examples include the rail spike, which is described as literally a hammer and a giant spike, and a weapon used to break bones with. Part of the reason we chose the fantasy genre is that we could get more dark and sinister with the toolkit, said Martin. When you think medieval, dark fantasy, you think torture devices, ropes, chains, and spikes. In Dark Ages, the iconic Doom Slayer will face more enemies than ever before in serious Sam-like battles in large battlefields. Thankfully, he has a dragon mount and shield saw to help even the odds. And this time around, ID Software wants you to feel like a big, heavy tank instead of a high-flying jet fighter. The studio really wants players to stand and fight in this entry. To help really sell the fantasy of being an unstoppable warrior, Dark Ages features 3 melee weapons with upgrades and finishers. Oh, but don't worry, there are plenty of wild medieval-themed firearms, too. And yes, you get a fully drivable mech, something teased in past games. I don't know that you want to play a single Doom level for 2 hours, said Martin. You want them to be nice, contained experiences, so around an hour is about the sweet spot. But if you're a completionist, you could certainly extend that. You might start in a dungeon-like space, then open up in the second half of the level into a more open-ended portion, Martin explained. We're trying to make sure the player feels there's a good amount of variety. My all-time favorite comic, which, big surprise, I think it's a favorite comic of many people, is Frank Miller's The Dark Knight, said Martin. He showed a depiction of Batman that was huge. He was amazing. He was powerful. He looked like a tank. Everything about his arsenal is powerful. He just looked awesome, and it was like, I'd love to make a Slayer like that, like a heavier, powerful Slayer. Doom. The Dark Ages is being developed for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X/S, and is coming out on May 15th.